Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have with me the OPPO A78 and I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about it in case you're considering buying it. So as always, let me tell you, don't buy the OPPO A78 without watching this video. Remember, this will be a brief summary of what I liked most and least, but the full video review with all the details is available if you want to get to know it in more depth. If there is something I don't mention in this video, it's because the device delivers within what one would expect in a device of this price point. Its launch price was 6,999 pesos in Mexico. On the screen, you see the reference price in other currencies to give you an idea. Based on this price, let's judge it. Let's start with what I like the most. It has a very wide official distribution, so you can buy it in both online and physical stores. That at least in Mexico. I don't know in other countries if OPPO handles this kind of wide distribution as well, but at least here it does. It has a very good AMOLED screen with 90 Hz in its refresh rate. I think that for the price, it is quite good, considering that there are other manufacturers that at this price still dare to put an IPS screen. So I did like this aspect. It offers us good colors, good contrast, good saturation, and good viewing angles. Overall, very good. In addition, the screen is protected with Gorilla Glass 5. This is a point that curiously OPPO does not put even on more expensive devices for some strange reason. So I like the fact that, although it is not a very expensive device, it does come protected with Gorilla Glass. Also, it has stereo sound and is very loud and of good quality. Again, in this price range, many manufacturers sacrifice this by only giving you one speaker, but OPPO does have two speakers at this price. It's slim and light. 7.99 millimeters thick and 180 grams in weight. Like all OPPO, the design is quite attractive, although this is always subjective, but the truth is that I do like how it has a diamond-like finish on the back that, depending on the angle at which it receives illumination, projects more diamonds, so it looks very nice. This is almost always a strong point in OPPO. Portrait photography is very good, keeping objects in focus as well. This is something that is appreciated because there are other devices that, in portrait photography, are very inaccurate at the time of detecting the foreground and background, but this one does it in a very good way. It includes dual recording mode to have the front and rear at the same time. I find this very useful for content creators who want to show the audience what is going on, but at the same time want to record their reaction. You can also open applications in a floating window. Although it can only be one at a time, but it is appreciated that you can have multiple tasks running at the same time on the same screen. It brings fingerprint reader inside the screen, giving it a much more modern look. At this price, almost no one includes the fingerprint reader inside the screen. Most of them put it on the outside, and in fact, it seems to me that all fingerprint readers that are outside the screen are much faster. But it looks more modern if you unlock your phone by putting your fingerprint inside the screen. Plus, you can change the animation and customize your experience on a deeper level. It has several security options such as secure folder, app lock, child mode, and more. I think this always comes in handy in everyday life. Personally, I find the kids model very appealing because if you are going to lend the phone to a little one, you can easily select how long you want their session to last, what apps they can open and what they can't, and more. The 67-watt charger is very fast and does come in the box. It charges really fast. For this price, I think it is a very good point. In less than an hour, you have the cell phone charged to 100%, even if it was discharged from 0%. Although the advice as always is not to let it fully discharged if you want the battery to have a much longer life. Although in fact, OPPO is one of those manufacturers that does promise that their batteries have very good durability, but only time will tell. If you've been using it for a while, let us know in the comments how your experience has been. It comes with a data lock mode, so you can choose whether apps can access the internet with Wi-Fi and your mobile data or only with Wi-Fi. This helps you avoid bad surprises in data consumption, so I really like it when devices include that option. It has gyroscope, geomagnetic field sensor, and a physical proximity sensor. These are things that sometimes several manufacturers sacrifice in exchange for adjusting the price, but OPPO didn't make any sacrifices in this aspect. That's why I like to mention it. Its base version is 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I think at this price point that's kind of unusual, so I like to highlight that. So it's not going to fill up quickly. You're going to be able to store a lot of photos, a lot of videos, because it really is a lot of space, which just a little while ago was a capacity reserved exclusively for the most expensive versions of the devices. But now it's wonderful to find it from mid-range devices. But let's go with what I didn't like. It only has one microphone. Most devices nowadays have two microphones in order to be able to record stereo sound and also reduce noise in calls. So the truth is that the microphone experience is going to be very simple. Despite having a 50 megapixel camera, I don't feel that it takes advantage of the full resolution of the sensor. There are devices with lower megapixel cameras that I feel give more detailed photos. The battery performs slightly below what I would have expected. In the tests I always do, let's say it lasts about 20 minutes less than what other devices with 5 milliamp batteries last. So I guess the battery experience is not the highlight, at least from my testing, but battery is always something a bit subjective depending on what apps you use and all your user habits. But applying the same test to all devices, I feel this one lasted a little less. No NFC for making mobile payments. This is not a usual feature in the price range, but you can find some other competing devices that integrate this chip, even at lower prices. This chip allows you to configure your card so that, by bringing your cell phone close to a bank terminal, you can make the payment and forget about having to take out your card. OPPO's ecosystem in Mexico is just developing. In other countries, I think there is more availability of devices, and it may be that this point is nullified, but at least in Mexico, we still do not have their watch or tablet officially available, so it still feels that the ecosystem can be very short. And for gaming, you are definitely going to find better things for this price. So if you are one of those users who focus a lot on the gaming experience, it is not that it will give you a bad performance, but in this same price range, you will find options that will give you a much higher power. Above all, if you are very interested in 3D games with high textures and special effects, the truth is that here you will have to select lower quality and settings if you want to maintain good stability in your game. But if you already bought it, let me know your opinion in the comments. Tell us absolutely everything about your experience. Also, make a list of things you did like and things you didn't like so that if there are other users out there looking to buy this device, they can make an informed decision. For now, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know you can let us know. And we'll see you next time.